What's good, everybody? Hope you guys are making your dreams come true. I'm on my way to make my dreams come true, right? So I gotta go pick up some paint, redoing my one of the kids' bedrooms, turning in my office. So I gotta paint it up and do a bunch of work to it. So yeah, gotta invest in yourself sometimes, right? All right. So I want to ask a question, right? Before you guys who are so concerned about relationships, so concerned about relationships. Um, I want to know, have you done the work on yourself? And we talk about the work on yourself, emotional healing, emotional help, and self-regulation and conflict resolution and all the other things that you should be working on. Have you done the work on yourself to ensure that you are actually ready for a relationship, that you want a relationship, right? Because one thing, man, that happens, two people when they're in relationships, when they have the potential to be in these relationships, is or looking for relationships, right? You know, you get used to being where you're at. You get used to being where you're at. You get used to sleeping by yourself. You don't have to think about anybody else for another decision. Where you want to eat at, what movie you want to watch. What do you want to do this weekend? You don't got to do none of that. You avoid a lot of arguments, and so I'm asking you, are you ready for that? I'm driving by all these trucks here, workers' trucks and crews and stuff. So let me just deviate for a second here, just rant. So I had these guys come and do these hardwood floors, right? So and they did the hardwood floors, took the rug up in my former kids' room. They're not my former kids, but my kids' room. And I'm like, can talk about doing a paint job that I'm about to do right now. Just get a quote. How much you charge to do a paint job? This, that, and the other. Oh yeah, we'll call you. Took pictures, and depends on the size and this, that, and the other. I ain't heard back from these dudes. Like people, do y'all not want money? I don't understand that. But whatever. I just want to rant about that. And that's like the second time it's happened to me. I've had electricians. Oh, you listen. I want to put in like ceiling fans. Here. Yeah. Okay, we'll call you back. Years later, still haven't heard back. Like, why don't people do that? I mean, I'm trying to give you some money and some business. Anyway, so have you done the work on yourself to make sure that you are the best viable person for you? Excuse me, for a potential mate. And listen, it's hard. It's hard to get to that place where you are willing to for lack of a better term, invite someone back into your life who's going to then make it better, or you're just going to be able to share it. You got to be willing to do that again, willing to go out on dates, willing to dress appropriately and accommodate other people. And you can get so used to being in your place, right? You control the remote control. You don't got to ask anybody about what videos you're watching or whatever. What videos your YouTube videos or TV shows or streaming services, or what you want to binge watch, or going out. I mean, sometimes you just want to have a nice chill weekend, right? Particularly as a guy, right? I mean, listen, as a guy, you have so many hobbies and stuff to do. Like I said, I'm doing this. I'm about to take on a few projects within my house. Or I could just sit back and do nothing and play video games all day. I can literally do that all day. I just gotta take breaks to eat, whatever. So listen, I mean, do you want to interrupt that, right? And then again, I've talked before about this, right? I enjoy reading. I have an audiobook playing. I'll be painting, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts in the background, whatever. So are you willing to give all that up is my essential question to you today. And if you're not, it's lighting, right? If you're not, don't waste anybody else's time. Make sure that you've done whatever emotional, psychological work on yourself, analyze yourself. Number two, is make sure that you have done any type of think analysis and thinking about, are you really ready for a relationship? Are you ready for that? Are you ready to, sometimes like, you know, unless it's a friend or something like that, you know, you are not going to, you'll get up and go help your friend change a tire or help them do a project around their house or something like that. But particularly as a male role, right? Your job is now, you going to go in there and protect and provide and all the other stuff, right? Are you really thinking about doing that? Are you ready to take that on again? If you're not, and that herein lies the rub, because a lot of times people are saying, "Oh, listen, I want to, be a part of this life," and but there's roles and responsibilities. I know that some people are trying to get away from these gender roles or whatever, but there's still today roles and responsibilities that are expected. And if you don't fulfill those, or you don't think that you have to get up out your bed to help your girl change her tire, or she got a flat tire at work, or you got to go see about her, or she's having a bad day, you got to listen to her. If you're not willing to listen to that and go through that and deal with that, you could be setting yourself up for something that's really, really bad, and really a waste of time, more trauma, and she could end up suffering a bunch of trauma on her end as well. So my whole spiel about this is, before you engage in building a nice house over there, a couple of nice houses, before you engage in any type of that type of behavior, entangling yourself with someone, coming into their life, and make sure that you are ready to deal with all the roles and responsibilities that come along with that, right? And if you're not, just be honest and upfront about it. Listen, nah, this ain't for me. And just chill by yourself. Enjoy your own company. But because you're bored, because you don't like your own company, don't make somebody else miserable because you can't enjoy your own self, because you don't enjoy your own company. So, I just want to drop this real quick, just put the thought in your head about something to think about. Are you ready for a relationship? Are you really ready to go through all the ins and outs, ups and downs, agreements, disagreements, misunderstandings, understandings? Right? Think about what it's like to be by yourself, right? There's no misunderstandings. That's why people are just dealing with cats and dogs and all that. I know we make jokes about it, but your cat, your dog, your goldfish, your hamster, they're not giving you all that much lip. Rub their belly from time to time. Make sure the food bowl is all full, and the water dish, and they're good. There's not much emotional needing that these animals need. I guess for dogs. Whoa, what are you doing, dude? I guess for dogs, right? Because to me, like having a dog is like having a kid. You got to play with it all the time and constantly. I just can't do that. I just can't do that. Can't do it. Anyway, so listen, just something to think about. But you don't have any disagreements with these animals, right? I mean, unless you don't do what you're supposed to do, take them out for a walk, and the next thing you know, they're making a mess all over your house. Then then that's a problem. But you got to deal with some of these other thoughts, emotions, triggers, feelings, desires, sadness, anxieties, depressions. You got to go through all that with them. And if you've been out the game for a little while, if you've been out the game, living solo, going dolo, and now you want to bring somebody on, that's hard. It's hard to get back. It's hard to get back into that. It's hard to think about somebody else's needs. And if you're not used to doing it, I mean, it can be done. You can talk yourself into. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that once you get used to this stable place, if you really want, something else, you got to get used to that, right? I got used to sleeping by myself. Used to it, man. Stretch out of the whole bed is mine. Now you got somebody else in there. You know, I like to be cold when I sleep, so sometimes I end up with blanket thieves and whatnot. But so yeah, and that's another thing too. You gotta be sensitive about the temperature, your house, how you like things, how fast you drive, and everything, right? Everything becomes a shared experience. Are you ready to share your experience with someone? Are you ready for that? And it's harder as you're older. It's harder. It's easier. It's easier when you're younger because you can get used to it, right? You can get, this is the way he drives, or you do things for a particular goal and good, a particular goal and the greater good. The goal being to raise a family, to build something, right? But if you're a mature person, 45 and plus, and you got a little bit of financial stability, you got you got financial stability, you got whatever, your own house, vacation home, whatever. And now, you want to bring somebody in there, you don't need a lot of stuff. And this is what I think it's harder. It's getting more and more difficult. I see more and more videos talking about um, the dating dilemma. We just don't need each other like that. We just don't need each other like that.
There's a dating crisis.
And why do you think that is?
I feel like there's too many options and people are treating each other like they're disposable. Like,
Right.
oh, I went on a date with this girl. I didn't text her back. She got mad. Oh, I'll just match with someone else. Like, I just don't think that we're really valuing each other. And I'm also just hearing like a lot of people that are so focused on career that I think it's great to be focused on career. I'm focused on career. You're focused on career. But it's like, you also need to make time for relationships if that's something that you're looking for.
Right.
And so, yeah, you mentioned the thing around like, you didn't say exactly like this, but it's like, you'll probably make more money than the person that you date, but then you still want that traditional relationship. I think a lot of people are struggling with that right now because the majority of college graduates are women. Many women are making more than the men that they're dating. And I think that we haven't totally caught up to that.
Right.
And so it's like, it can feel very emasculating for the man and for the woman. They're like, I want them to take me out, but I make more than them.
Right.
And I don't think people have figured out how to navigate that.
And because we don't need each other like that, the simple, I don't like the way you looked at me. I don't like the way you talked to me. I don't like the way you drive. I don't like the fact that you wear a black belt with brown shoes. I don't. It's wild. So you gotta be ready for all that. I mean, are you really ready for that? So I just wanted to give you guys something to think about. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions.